All right, without further ado, let's please welcome to the stage Todd Masters and Dave Snyder. Woo! There we go. Let's keep it rolling.
Oh, it's getting late. Thanks, man. That was fun.
Here you
Here,
go.
I'll take one of these.
I got this on. Let me turn that button on for you.
I don't think it is.
Here we
All right, thanks. Cool. Oh, it's so bright. You guys have fun there at the fine Frida Theater? That was cool, right?
Isn't that fun? All right, let's do the first questions real fast. How many people, it's your first time at the Frida Cinema? Raise your hand. Okay, all right. And how many people, it's your first time watching Demon Night? Okay, all right. Well, let's kick this off, fellas. All right. All right, you guys have been doing all sorts of movies that I love. It was just St. Patrick's Day. I was reminiscing with you a little bit about Leprechaun 2.
Yes.
But let's get into, how did you get into the Crypt universe, the Crypt verse?
Well, that's kind of funny. We're having a fun time. You probably heard us talking through the movie. Sorry about that. But we've been having a fun time trying to reminisce about all this stuff. I actually initially got hired on by the art department to make the Crypt set. So all that sculpted demons and all that garbage that's all over the floor, all the sculptures that are in there. They wanted a sculptor, and I knew some of the art department people, so they brought me in. And while we were building the Crypt set, I kept telling them, like, I don't do this. I actually do this monster stuff. And it took me a while working for Tales of the Crypt as the special Crypt guy to finally get one of the producers to agree to have me do one of the makeup effects episodes. And so I don't think I actually did an episode until like season 2 or something like that. And then I found out, unfortunately, that I was kissing the wrong butt to get the job, because they had different producers then, and I was the guy named Bill Teitler was the producer of that era. And I was like, hey, let me give you some more coffee, sir, whatever, get the gig. I finally got a gig, and he went off and did something else, and they brought on Gil and Allen, who are the producers of this era of the Tales of the Crypt. You actually see them at the end of the movie. They're in the wraparound chopping his head off. That's the two producers doing that. But so it took me like another season to kind of get back into, like, hey guys, I really don't do the Crypt set. I do the monsters and makeup. And so finally, by I think like season 3, we kind of became the permanent house. There was a few others that were working on it. And then we got pretty good at it. The whole Crypt world, the people that were making the stuff, the costume people, the makeup artists, the effects guys, the production design, we all became like a really tight family. So when you work on
I think season 3 is when I joined you.
Was that? Okay. Yeah. So we all just kind of like clicked, and we were all just doing like incredible. When you do TV stuff, you do crazy schedules. You're shooting one while you're prepping the next one, while you're wrapping the next one, all at the same time. And we were kids. I mean, we were really fucking young. I had hair and everything. And somehow we never fucked up. That's the kind of the big rule, is you just don't fuck up. And
We made a gorilla suit in a week.
yeah,
I
we
don't
did.
know that that's been beat.
Yeah, let's not try. We did all the Tim Curry age and character makeups in like a weekend.
And the Martin Sheen age
Martin
and
Sheen,
makeups.
so we did a ton of that stuff like super fast, and they gained confidence with us. So when the first movie came along, if I could just kind of finish this crazy thought, they gave us the script of Demon Night, and I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be fun, because it was just wall-to-wall demons. And so we thought we were going to make them all as monster suits. It's always easier on set. You can just shove an actor into a suit rather than try to make up the actor all the time. So we gave them a budget for Demon Night as it was written originally, and they didn't call me back. And so they kind of, well, actually, I guess a couple of weeks later, they called me back and said, here, come get the new script. So we got the new script. They had cut all the demons out. And so they were going to make a demon movie with like Blues Brothers kind of characters, guys in suits, like men.
We're all going to be Mr. Smith.
Yeah,
from,
like Men in Black.
Matrix.
And originally, like all, so if
Chasing
you can
people
imagine
around.
that movie with a bunch of guys in suits chasing you, it would be different.
Dark
right?
glasses.
Yeah, that was the thing about the
Fedoras.
fire in the mouth and all that. Originally, in that version, they would pull down their glasses. They're dark glasses, and you'd see the hot burning soul or something, and that's why their mouths glow. And so I actually made a bit of a scene in the producer's office. I said, we're Tales from the fucking Crypt. We cannot make a movie called Demon Night with no demons in it. We're going to be killed. So we came up with this technique to make the demons. Okay, so we had a shop of all of us young guys.
It still makes no damn sense.
It does. It shouldn't
You know,
make any sense.
They shoot lightning out of their eyes if you shoot them in the eyes.
If you really think about
Okay.
the mythology, it's a little messy.
Yeah.
But so we had to go back and figure out a new technique for making these demons. And at that time, we had these. None of us were eating, and none of us ever slept. And we had a couple guys in the shop that were like super thin. And I looked at one of the guys named Walt, and I said, "Could I photograph you in your underwear?" And he agreed. And yeah, right. I mean, this is the '90s.
And he walked like this.
Oh yeah, you got to do the. There. He has to do it in his underwear, don't you think? So we took the idea of using Walt and another guy named Josh Patton, who had worked at the shop, and we pitched the idea to them with a brand new computer software that you could do Photoshop. It was before Photoshop, but it was another thing called Opal Paint. We did one of the early concepts by computer. And we went back to him and said, look, we can do them like makeups. And we would apply a chest piece, we would apply the hooves and the gloves and the head, but everything else was their naked self painted with brown makeup. And since we didn't have to make all these suits, we saved the budget. We saved the movie, damn it. So anyway, there you go.
There you go.
Easy as that.
Can we go now?
You got to do the underwear. All right, so do you want to go to Q&A or do you want to just Q?
No. Yeah, we got a nice, like, intimate audience right here. I want to give people
can't see
the chance.
anybody.
I'll do a question just to let folks have time to think of a question. So we're going to be turning the mic over to you, fine folks, in just a little bit. Let's see. Could you? Here's a question. Were there any particular sequences that you did film that didn't make it into the film that you certainly wish did?
Oh, yeah, well, David and I were kind of like jabbing each other in the ribs during again, sorry if you heard us, but we're like, wasn't there another scene here? And where did this come from? And some of that
Which
stuff.
bit?
What's that?
Which part?
Well, like the ending sequence with Jada and Billy dancing, that was added in post.
Yeah.
There was
yeah.
originally a big kind of originally Billy wasn't in that scene. He was just a big fireball that at that point it was kind of hand animated, so it didn't really come across so big, so that kind of went down. Whenever you're doing a show like this, especially this one being so chaotically put together and filmed, there was a lot of monkeying around in post in the end of it. So we did go back and we shot some stuff just to kind of ease it out. But yeah, there was
I
stuff.
do remember the first day that we did our test makeups.
Yes.
And we had Kay Kemmler, stunt woman,
She plays one of the demons.
Jamie,
The other guy.
that guy.
Sorry.
And then we had Josh Patton and Walter
Phelan, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
all these guys who were kind of our assistants, they turned out to be actually like monster stars. They
Well, yeah,
actually went
two
off
of
to
them
do stuff.
were stunt people, and then two were our
Two
friends.
were they were working at our shop, sweeping up and doing
exactly.
errands and stuff,
Yeah.
and they ended up doing like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
But they
and-
were super thin and super fit.
And how did they walk? No, anyway,
It's your turn.
you guys do it. All right. Anyway,
Everybody now.
yeah, but the test makeups were.
Well, the first test makeup we did took 8 hours. And these were, there was a body appliance here.
Kind of the ribs.
It kind of slipped over like a sports bra, but it had to be
Glued, blended,
glued and blended
gloved.
everywhere. Gloves, they had to be blended.
With articulated fingers. We actually had jointed fingers.
Yeah, like finger extensions.
Yeah, finger extensions, but they actually had linkages, so they would all kind of join. It was really cool.
Yeah. Then a torso or like a waist piece, like a diaper, basically.
It was the
that had
crotch.
A battery in the crotch.
We put a big
that-
Makita battery right up their butt.
Yes, that
Best place to
animated the
put a
tail,
battery.
because they had tails that had to do their thing. So they were really complicated makeups. All of this part was their skin. This part down, this part up was rubber. This part was skin.
Yeah, but we had leg
Rubber
extensions that way.
Yeah.
The crazy
So it
leg
was,
extensions.
It was like this crazy combination of engineering and makeup.
And probably shouldn't have worked. But-
Probably shouldn't have.
But, you know, there you go. That's movie making.
They probably should have gone back to those guys in suits.
We should
with
probably have gone to the
glasses.
DEA next door and just reported them all. I don't
Right.
know. Anyway.
Applause for those practical effects. Right? All right, I'm going to turn the microphone over to the audience. This is a conversation for a different time, but I really love Fringe. Anybody a Fringe
Oh, wow,
fan?
okay.
Todd worked on Fringe.
Yeah, we did Fringe for many seasons. All the seasons except for the first season, which was shot in New York. Yeah.
All right. Raise your hands, please, anybody with the question.
The rest of you guys just staying for the next showing? No, okay.
Hi, so this one is for Todd. So at the end of the movie, the Crypt Keeper talks about Dead Easy. We were talking about this earlier. But so what was the story behind Dead Easy? For the audience, was there ever a script? How far did it get getting made? Why did it get canceled? Supposedly there were rumors online that you did makeup effects, but you came out and said that you never even got to make the makeup effects for it. But so what was the overall story behind what happened with Dead Easy?
Okay, so at the end of Demon Knight, there's a little mention, tune in next year for the next one, because at that point, Tales of the Crypt, we were really trying to, make a run for it. All the partners, which was, this big gaggle of Hollywood producers, they were really trying to make merch, and we're going to make more movies, and the series will go on until 2025 and all that stuff. So the Demon Knight did pretty well when it came out, so it kind of gave us the motivation to push it even further, but it all kind of exploded in our faces pretty fast because the partners, I don't think, are really getting along that well. So when we were wrapping up, I think in post of Demon Knight, I got the script for Dead Easy. I think it was actually called something else. And there was kind of this weird Harlequin character. It took place in New Orleans. And we were, all, for whatever reason, we were like, okay, we're just going to keep moving because we were pretty much a unit at that point. We've done the series all together. We'd got on to do this crazy movie all together. Somehow we survived it and still liked each other. So we might as well just keep going. And so the production designer and Gil Adler and Alan Katz, kind of the headmasters of Tales of the Crypt at the time, they all went down to New Orleans, scouted a bunch of stuff. They were there, I think, over a week, maybe even 2 weeks. And meanwhile, I was working with the costume people, Warden Neal and Randall Throp, and we wanted to kind of develop this Harlequin character. So that's where those sketches came from. And so I started doing a bunch of renderings of this kind of crisscrossy pattern that Warden Neal had conceived. I wanted the face to kind of feel, you want, for that kind of character, you sort of want some mystery, so he should look all joyous, but he's all hell behind. So it was sort of going that way. So I did like 3 or 4 of those, and the guys flew back and said, okay, well, we're going to do it, and then it didn't happen. So it just died. It just, sometimes these things are just, there's so many things that, I wish there was a channel that showed like all the pilots that never got picked up, or, maybe movies that, oh, here we go, look at this. This is the Demon Knight call sheet from one of the many pickups. So this, Dave, you weren't here at this point, but you can see the bathroom over here, Geraldine drinking from the key, we just saw that. So this is kind of like little holes in the movie.
The Uncle Willie dream sequence.
Yeah, is this fun? Yeah, that was a fun day. So this is Saturday, December 10th, 1994. So
I have a good Uncle Willie anecdote.
Excellent.
He came to the shop one day. He had to have a glowing mouth.
This
like
is
a lot
Dick
of the
Miller,
demons.
of course.
Yeah, Dick Miller. So that required him to come in and we cast his teeth, just like a dentist would do. Make models of your teeth, and then whatever we rig up to fit on those will fit in the actor. And so I take this tray and I fill it up full of this gooey stuff and jam it in his mouth. And he's just not digging it. And finally, it's set. Take it out. He's like, I'm never going to eat in this fucking restaurant again. And that was just quintessential Dick Miller.
Yeah,
He's
totally awesome
so
guy.
awesome.
He was so fun to work with.
Yeah.
So, did I answer your question? Yes. Okay. All right. Anybody else awake out there? Oh, it's happening. I can't see shit.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi. How's it going? I think
Good. I was one of the guys that did the Crypt Keeper up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Work. Fantastic work.
Thank you. How was it working with Richard Donner and Robert Zemeckis? So both those guys did major stuff like later on, right? So
Yeah. Whoops! I just spilled my water. Oh well. Sorry. So Donner, I love them all. I mean, everybody's got kind of their own thing. Are you specific Donner, or are you interested in?
Well, because he did the Lethal Weapon movies,
Yeah.
and Zemeckis he did the Back to the Future movies. So
Yeah. Do you know he's gone, of course, now. He was a
Yeah.
really cool guy.
okay,
A lot of fun, and all respect to this dude because
Okay.
he kind of created a certain element of cinema. So he's a big animal lover, or was a big animal
Okay.
lover, and so you had to be really careful about anything that would hurt an animal. So if you'll notice, there is no Tales from the Crypt with, as far as we went, all the Tales from the Crypt, there's an episode, I think, with Brooke Shields, and there's like, trophies on a cabin of like old animals. He even had a hard time with that,
Okay.
doing that. At one point, do you guys remember the episode where Steve Buscemi gets jungle rot and his whole face kind
yeah.
of melts off? Okay, so
Yeah.
we had a bit of a slogan at the time. It's not TV, it's HBO, and that was kind of their thing. They used to say.
nice.
And
That's you guys right there. Look.
Oh shit! Look at us. Ah! Wow, that was just taken yesterday.
That used to be in the bathroom at the shop.
Which are you guys up there?
Well, Dave's over here with hair and underwear. And
There's Todd.
I'm wearing my frog shirt from South Africa. I just
Nice.
came back from shooting the Mangler down there.
Nice.
But anyways,
That's on the Demon Knight set.
yeah, that's right in front of the Demon Knights with a couple demons. You see Toby Hooper's son over there, right next to Rocket the dog. A lot of great makeup effects people here that are still amazing in this business. Of course, Bill Sadler.
Nice.
There's Walt to the far right. He's in his underwear. So anyway, after the going back to the Buscemi moment, if you remember, there's this bit where his eyeball slides down his cheek. You made that eyeball. And
Nice.
Dave came up with a system of an inflating eyeball with goo, I think it was.
Well, to preface this whole thing properly, you have to realize this was in the time when if you saw something happen on the screen, somebody made it happen.
Right.
Somebody didn't.
Yeah, there's no buttons pushed here.
No. It happened physically. What they wanted to see was Steve Buscemi, eye swells up, pops out, dribbles down his cheek.
It was actually in the script.
One
It
take.
leaves a snail's trail was in
Yeah.
the script.
Something like, yeah. So it's like, okay, this is like a week's worth of work for 20 seconds in the episode, but it's this thing, and we put all the work into it, came up with a way, did it. The episode comes out. His eyeball goes. Then there's a cutaway.
Yeah, that's right.
For no reason. A cutaway.
It all happened right in front
A
of
cutaway to somebody going, what? And then it comes back, and you see, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we
There's
did
no
that
cutaway.
in a
We
water.
did.
We did that in a water.
We actually did it right before lunch, and it grossed out the entire crew.
think
You
it
remember
did.
that? And
Yeah,
Lee
it's-
Webb, the AD, says, after it slides down his face, perfect take. I think it was a oneer. Flops on the floor. It was silence from the crew, and Lee Webb, the AD, goes, "That's lunch."
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, sorry. Dick Donner calls me in his office because of that gag, and he says, "What the fuck is this? We can't show this." And because he's Mr. Animal, and you can't do it. But this is a human animal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Bashimi,
That's
and
so cool.
he was just grossed out by
Nice.
it. And he's like, "This is really awful. How can you do this?" And I looked at him and I said, "It's not TV, it's HBO."
Nice.
And fortunately, and anyway, there's some other. We used to fuck with Donner quite a bit.
Nice.
If you remember House of Horror with
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Dillon, Severed Head. Remember that? So that was directed by Bob Gale, who's one of the partners with Zemeckis, right?
Yeah.
And those guys go way back. And so Bob directed that whole thing to be pretty scary and pretty violent, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole Kevin Dillon severed head moment in there.
What's scary about that?
Well, so Bob comes back and he goes, "They totally fucked me in the edit. They totally cut out all the good stuff. Can you do me a favor?" He's on the phone to me. He goes, "Can you take Kevin Dillon's head, put it in a box, and send it to Dick Donner's office with no message, no note, no return address. Just send the
Love
head."
it.
And we did,
That's great.
and we heard nothing. And I'm just like, where's the huge explosion from Dick Donner? This has got to be good, right? We're not witnessing
Nice,
anything.
nice.
And so finally, this was like weeks and later, I hadn't heard shit. I kind of forgot about it. Bob Gale calls up and goes, "Yeah, so that edit I was telling you about and the severed head thing, they put everything back in. It's as I want."
That's
So
cool,
it's like
man.
this weird little
That's
Godfather
cool.
moment
I
that
love it.
happened there.
I have one more question for you
Yeah.
guys. So did you guys do the makeup for the Crypt Keeper as well?
That's Kevin Yeager's work,
Okay,
actually. Yeah, so
okay.
Kevin's an old friend. He got the puppet job. We actually did all the other stuff, like I said.
Did he do like the Puppet Master? Like how they had those horror movies called the Puppet Master and
Kevin did Chucky.
Okay.
He did Meet the Feebles. No, not that one. What's the one of the bugs? Anyway,
nice.
Yeah,
Classic
that's going
one.
way back, yeah.
Meet the Applegates. Thanks. Really cool shit in there. Kevin's a superstar. He is such a genius. He still works. He's
Yeah,
actually
still doing the Bill and Ted stuff.
Yeah, he did the recent
muscle
Dome-
suits
Yeah,
and
but he's
all
a
that.
hell of an artist. If you have Instagram, check him out.
Yeah.
It's Yag Her, Kevin Yag Her, if you want. Weird spelling, but great guy. Sorry, I'm just chattering.
Any
Okay.
other? Speaking to Meet the Applegates, was anyone here when we had Ed Begley Jr. for Greedy?
Wow.
Okay, yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Deep cuts. We should have had Kassir here. All right. Sorry.
Question for David. This might be out of left field, but did you work on Starship Troopers? For Dave here?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
But you guys did work on Mortal Kombat, right?
The first one, yeah.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, we did the guy with.
We did Scorpion. We did Scorpion. There's a Scorpion.
What was it? His mouth was
Well,
sealed up. Or
We did all those masks for Mortal Kombat, those things. And then they had already shot most of it in Thailand. They still owed the Scorpion sequence. So,
Yeah.
ADI did the
reshoots.
cool forearm character. I always forget what his
Yep.
name is. And then we did the big thing at the end, whatever the hell that was. Sorry, this is a long time ago.
Yeah,
This
this was,
summer, actually.
and it was a quick one.
It was a real fast one. And then
it
we
seems
did.
like it was a guy with his mouth sealed shut, like a
Right.
silicone mask.
We're gonna
or
have to
maybe
watch
a
this.
stunt person or-
But then there's Scorpion. He gets his head chopped off. He spews lava.
Yeah.
That whole craziness. We did that whole sequence.
But we did
Oh,
do
there you
Demon
go.
Night.
Yeah. So these are the original scribbles.
wow.
Back when demons had balls.
These are all Masters classics.
Yeah. So this is me at like 3 a.m. scribbling shit out. Like, I think we could do it
Yeah.
this way cheaper.
And this is me waking up at 6 a.m. going, what in God's
What the
name
hell's he
is-"
doing now? The previous shot, if you saw those people with the just human renderings with little holes in their eyes, that was the original idea for the Blues Brothers, Men in Black. There you go. That was the original Demon Knight concept.
How did we make their mouths glow?
Okay, so anybody want to figure that one out? It's pretty funny. So obviously, the eyes glowing too were practical.
The eyes were
They were they okay. So when we here you go. There's
Same-
the old commercial or the old Amiga that we used for making the original
But
Opal
the
tape.
thing is, I made I made those devices that made the mouths glow.
And now you
I
can't
don't
remember.
how I did. I was thinking
Okay.
about this a few days ago, and I was like, I don't know what the hell I did.
I'll tell you. So Dave, one of the things we loved about Dave is he did a lot of really great dental work, not just eyeballs that popped out of people's skulls, but he did really good dental. I think you used to work at a dental lab, didn't you?
I trained for it.
There you go. Okay. And so we had little teeny grain of wheat bulbs on a little pallet that sat right into their pallet on a piece of plastic. And then we had a very fine wire come out of their mouths underneath the prosthetic. Do you remember this now? And then
Yeah.
that went to a little battery. And then their eyes glowed with, there's actually a material, highly radioactive. No. There's a material that eye doctors use with droppings.
from the far
and
reaches of the solar system.
that under blacklight will glow. And so we'd literally take like little drops right before we shot, and we put
Yeah.
little eye drops in them. Many of the shots were enhanced, but a lot of the shots are actually really like that.
Yeah, plus we had one of the best DPs
Yes.
of all time.
Yeah, Mr. Rick Boda, who
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
a lot of the episodes as well as this one.
Yeah, and this one.
He had
and
nothing to
he
do with
always-
Bordello Blood.
He was your ally,
Yeah.
because when it comes to makeup effects, your director of photography can either be your best friend or your worst friend. And if they're on your side, they'll drop a little magic shadow,
And
or
he,
just a little something.
yeah,
they'll-
just to
they'll
kind of cover
make
up the
your
booger.
work
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, Rick, all the Tales from the Crypt cinematographers were pretty good about it because, we had no time to make this. Some of the applications were pretty rough. At least his were. No. I'm kidding.
Hey, I was new.
Hey, take it
Hey,
easy.
what
Hey.
the?
All right. Anybody else? Oh, hey, okay. I see something out there. It could be birds. It could be hands.
I was gonna ask, did you guys also work on Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood? And then I also heard that one was originally gonna be like a sequel to From Dusk Till Dawn, but then like it got changed to be a Tales from the Crypt movie.
There's a whole lot of that where one person says this movie was going to be a Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, there's a lot of these like weird Tales from the Crypt kind of relatives that I don't know how true. I mean, we should get the whole Tales from the Crypt group to ask about this. But
Yeah.
so I went. So they did Bordello Blood in Canada. I'm actually Canadian, but they didn't bring me for whatever reason. And they had some real problems with it. Like halfway through the movie, I started getting calls from them like, how do we make blood? Like really random stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, you were Tales from the Crypt? You guys don't know how to make blood? So that movie got in some big trouble. I got a phone call from Alan Katz at one point. I think it was like the third call after How Do You Make Blood? Can you get up here? And so I went up there, and they had done a bunch of stuff that was kind of like, even today, the final product's kind of, We
Yeah.
couldn't fix everything. The big witchy poo makeup at the end, that
Yeah.
it's like I told them not to shoot that because we're gonna have to fix it. We're gonna have to recreate this shitty makeup, and Angie's gonna hate me just like she's hating these other people. And anyway, we did end up recreating that makeup, and we did a change-o head, and we did a lot of the makeup effects stuff in Van Nuys after we brought it back down here. So,
Nice. And
bless
then I just had like 2 more questions. So right there, what you guys are sculpting on, is that wet clay?
where are you?
I'm right. So, yeah,
Oh,
right there in
this,
the
yeah,
back.
there's Dave, actually. Holy shit. There's Dave. He is right out of, here, compare and contrast. Holy shit. That's pretty amazing. This is me over here on the right.
Oh, nice.
So is this Kay? Which one is this? Is this Kay Kimler? Okay, so Kay
Yeah,
was one of our
that
stunt
would be
people. Dave, that was kind of your character. Don't fall off the stick. But
Yeah, we had 2 stunts, and we had 2 of our
Our shop people.
slim friends. Yeah,
Slim
and Kay
friends.
Kemmler was one of our stunt demons, and this was her.
That was her
Head.
head, yeah. So that's pretty cool. A little
Yeah,
flashback
so
there, Dave. That's trippy.
Whenever
huh?
you see people smashing through the windows or falling down the stairs or
That was
whatever, it was either Kay or Jimmy, I think was our other stunt.
Anybody know the name of this guy? Anyway, I hope he's not in the
I
audience.
think it was Jimmy something was our other stunt guy.
Hey, you.
And then the sort of main demons were Walter and those guys that were
In their
always
underwear, yes.
doing their thing.
I think we have some more slides. What else we got up there? Thanks. Oh, here we go. So the masks were just kind of slip over masks. I don't know if you guys caught on to this, but we wanted to make their heads kind of like little pinchy. So they see out of these cracks in the foreheads. So the cracks up here, which were meant to look kind of like busted lava, that was actually where they saw. And these were actually fake eyes with bulbs behind them. Yeah. So now I just ruined the movie for you, didn't I?
I heard that the eyeballs used on the Crypt Keeper 2, those are the same eyeballs used for Chucky.
That is, yeah. You'd have to ask Kevin if that's actually true. This whole. So the Chucky eyeballs.
Sorry, could you say that again?
I heard that the blue eyeballs that's inside the Crypt Keeper puppet, those are the same eyeballs that were used on one of the Chucky dolls.
Yeah, saving a little budget there.
That'd be a
I think
question.
that's accurate, but that would be
I
a
thought
Jaeger.
I thought you meant the eyeballs that we used on these guys.
That would have been good. So there's another good shot of Dave with his lovely long hair he had back then. Very nice. Yeah.
There's our Kate Kemler.
And there's Kate.
All those rings.
Yeah, and that's Walt over here on the left with Scott Patton and Scott Coulter.
Yep.
And that's a hell of a cool Casio watch. But you could see Walt starting to get into the process. He's got the chest piece on, and he looks pretty happy to be a Hollywood star. So what else slide-wise do we have? Do we have other questions here?
This
there
is
we
my
go.
last question.
Oh, you got more?
It's for Dave. So, what kind of clay do you prefer working with?
Do you even use clay anymore?
Or what kind of clay did you prefer working with? Like, I guess
That was
during the
Roma, I think, back there.
Depends on the job. If it's something big and loose and something I want to do fast, wed.
Okay.
If it's something that's, appliances, prosthetics,
Finicky.
probably Siobhan.
Monster clay.
Just like oil-based clay?
No, fuck monster.
Fuck Monster Clay. Okay, you heard it right
Sorry
here.
if there's anybody here
They're
with
sponsoring this event.
monster clay, but I've heard a lot of good things, and it's not been my experience.
Every artist has got their own kind of particular thing, but those are kind of the common ones.
Yeah.
Some people
I don't know,
fight
you
them to
ever
the.
tried, what's this, air clay?
No. Is this like a joke?
It's a crafting, or it's like a cosplay
Really?
kind of thing.
Shit, I don't know.
It's awesome.
Okay, let's do it. All right. What else we got back there? I saw others.
Hey, fellas. Two questions that don't get asked to makeup guys a lot. How'd you feel about the movie being delayed from Halloween to a January release?
Oh, originally, yeah. That kind of fucked it up a little bit, didn't it? Happy New Year.
Well, it got really heavily marketed. I remember commercials, and it got a really hard push.
Yeah, it did okay, I think. Okay, so just real fast, sorry to interrupt. This behind us, if everybody knows Toby Hooper, that's Tony Hooper, William Hooper, who worked in our shop for a little while. Here he is working on the leg extensions. Tony was, he's still around, but I haven't seen him in eons. But he was also in the shops, art department kind of guy. He actually, yeah, that's Josh in his stunt panties. Yeah, it's a flying harness kind of thing. Sorry, are we fucking up the Q&A here?
No, this is actually kind of related to the other question, which is all these pictures, these are taken by y'all generally?
Most of these are mine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my first memory of Demon Night is actually the Entertainment Tonight segment.
Okay.
And I remember thinking
Where they
wow, this stuff
introduced
looks
the
really good,
Nikita?
even on video. It looks like the kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like on the Entertainment Tonight day? When that when that part of the press came in.
Shit. We only had a couple press days, and I think by that time we were so burnt out by this show. This was a really hard thing to make.
I think at that point
We just
we
didn't
were
care.
realizing that it was taking 4 hours every day to get these folks into makeup
And then
before
several to
we
get
could
them
even
out.
start shooting.
Yeah.
And that's down from 8.
Yeah.
That's where it started. But it took us about 3.5, 4 hours just to get them to the beginning of their day. So they were long days, and they were exhausting days. And it's like, I do remember a couple of times they came by and they would stick a camera in your face and say, well, I have this, and you'd say, well, let me swim there. You know, I don't know. And then you see it, I don't know, a couple of years later, and it's like, I don't think that was me. Was that you, Todd? Or was
This show, because we really had no prep on this show, we did all our prep meetings actually were our lunch meetings. You probably never saw me for lunch because I was always in a meeting. But we were always kind of chasing the
sculptures were sculptures
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
You know, nowadays they do 1 million sculptures to
Yeah.
try and bring it down to the ultimate. It's like
That's a good point.
our sculptures were.
Nowadays,
that's what it is.
Nowadays, we go through a lot of approval process, a lot
Yeah.
of development with the
Yeah.
filmmakers. I don't think other than those sketches you saw, I don't think we ever had anything approved. You know, like the Danny Demon. I thought I was going to get fired. In fact, I think I did get fired for the Danny Demon because we just showed up with
think
this
we all
huge, big Daddy Rothmouth. And it was kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy looking, but everything was crazy in the show. And I remember Gil Adler, the producer, walking towards me on the stage as we've just like barely finished yet another project that's just insane. And I swear to God, I thought he was going to fire me for the Danny Demon. He goes, "This thing's fucking amazing." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's the movie we're on." Okay,
There you go.
So, anyway, any other love out there? Oh, more. Okay. Do you need a microphone, or you just want to talk to me?
I can just yell. I was
Yeah,
good.
exactly,
Did
right?
you guys do the birthing of the demons?
Oh, okay. That was another. Okay, this is pretty funny.
I didn't.
Yeah, Dave was gone by then because we had run out of money, and we were still trying to finish this crazy movie. So we had just kind of a small crew working on little demon puppets. Not those, but
Okay.
yeah, there you go. There's you again. So we some of them were like reverse photography melts. Other of them were like driven from below the set, pushing through the slime. And then we got into like little hand puppets, which I came back to the shop on it was like Sunday morning, I think. We had a crew working on all these little demon babies to shoot Monday. And I came back, it was like the first day off I had since starting this movie, and I kind of had a too much fun weekend. And I came back kind of like, oh, and I looked at everything, and I kind of went, everything sucks. I think I need to stay here and remake it all. And I stayed, and I think I was a little stoned, and I remade one of the demon puppets on, like the baby puppets, on my hand, and I kept working all night long just because that's what we did back then. And the sun was rising, and I had finished this puppet, but I made it on my hand, and I couldn't get my hand out. And so I literally like drove to set with a puppet on my hand, and I like walked into set. Yeah, this is totally normal. This is how we work. I laid down on the floor. I actually have some really funny photos of Billy fucking with me because he knew exactly what happened. And when I finally did get one of the demon puppets, that demon puppet off my hand was all bloody because it was like literally like glued on and stuff. I don't know. We were all a little crazy, I think, at that point. But yeah, there you go.
was great on that show.
Was it?
Billy.
Billy was phenomenal.
Really great.
We used to do these huge Halloween parties in our monster studio, and everybody would show up. And I was just telling this story this morning. One year we had this guy running around just being an asshole in a monkey suit.
Yeah.
And cheapest shitty monkey suit.
Crappiest monkey suit.
He was
you
like
could get.
crawling on things he shouldn't have been crawling on,
Yeah.
like bugging
Jumping
people.
around,
like, who
annoying
the fuck is
people.
this asshole? At the end of the night, he comes over, he lifts the mask off. It was
It
Billy.
was Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of Billy. Okay, there you go. There's a demon baby with Billy fucking with me and me on the floor. Over there you have one of the drivetrain, kind of a little drive shaft that we just kind of like, ran it up and down.
Poor John Shuck with his
Yeah,
mouth all
John
pushed in.
Shuck. Anyway, so any other questions out there?
Yes.
Sorry, we're kind of rambling here.
So you said that it took 4 hours to get all of the demons ready when you were actually on set. How many demon makeups were you guys doing a day?
4.
It would depend on the call sheet, but
The max was
the max was 4.
4 hero ones, and then we had
Yeah.
a bunch of background.
Yeah.
ones that only played a couple days.
Yeah.
That were kind of like slip-ons.
They were much simpler, but each hero makeup was 2 people for 4 hours, and that's basically. Gosh, where did we even start? I don't know. You'd
Well,
put
we
on.
started with the crotch. I think we put the crotch.
Well,
on first.
I think we saved the crotch as late as possible so they could
We
go
saved
pee.
the crotch. Oh, that's true. We probably
Yeah.
did actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, we
So
had to
I-
shove a battery up in there.
I think we started with the chest piece, which was kind of like a sports bra, but all the edges have to be blended off and painted to match the skin.
And it's hard to remember all this.
Yeah. Then this is all them, the whole torso. Then when you get to here, it's basically like a pair of shorts. Again, everything has to be blended off and then painted into the skin. Plus, they had a battery pack in the crotch that operated the tail, the motor for the tail.
Here we have a few of the background ones you can kind of see.
Yeah.
Sort of see, but anything that's kind of close to Billy, I think that's Walt.
Yeah.
So
yeah, those
this one's a background one though, right there, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, we're screwing up all the movie magic for you, but there you go.
But yeah, it was just all the separate pieces and the blending and then the painting and getting everything sort of coherent. That's why it would take 4 hours. And that's actually, I think that's pretty fast, yeah. Considering they're wearing an animatronic head, but with a prosthetic neck that has to be blended into them. So
Well, Dave and I are actually going to do a demo afterwards. If any of you guys would like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
strip down for us.
just line up in the back
Underwear.
alley.
There's a certain way to walk. We'll be set up in the boys' bathroom, the last stall. Okay. All right. We got another one already.
I just have 2 questions. This
Yeah,
is
no worries.
more about the television show than the movie.
Okay.
So it's always great to talk to somebody who worked on the show. I pretty much grew up with the show. My father.
Me too.
Yep.
While doing
My
it.
father, on Halloween nights in the early 90s, HBO would show like a marathon of the previous season.
Right.
So I grew up with a recorded VHS tape of season 4, pretty much all the episodes you worked on.
Wow.
So at earliest memory is 4 or 5 years old, watching a werewolf like mess up a blonde girl. My favorite episode of yours is Werewolf Concerto from season 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Terrific episode. His use of a wolfman is more like caveman beastly like that. Always scared the crap out of me.
Do you know one of the story about that? 'Cause
No, not at all.
Again, we had 4 days to make that. I mean, you never have time. So we had actually just finished the Howling 6, Howling 5.
That was before me.
Was it before you? Okay, so we had recently finished one of the Howling movies. Is the one that's the Freaks? I think it's number 6. Shit, I don't know.
Well, I think Halloween 5 was 89, and then Halloween 6 was like 94, 95, but I think they filmed that in like 93. It didn't come out till like 95 or 6.
Yeah, I'll have to apologize. My whole career blends. So anyway, we had recently done whatever Howling one was, and on that one we kind of it was before the leg extensions you saw in this one. We actually made like really long dog haunches, kind of invented it, and it's still kind of a design that's used quite often. But that was the werewolf in the Howling 4. And to do that, to create these weird leg extensions, we actually wanted, again, hiring somebody out of our shop. We hired our mechanical guy so he could actually build them on himself and like train himself and all that.
Cool.
And so that was a guy by the name of Andy Bastanaby, who's now a visual effects guy in town. Yeah, and so Andy worked at the shop, and so when the werewolf episode came along, with Timothy Dalton playing the main guy, I went to the producers. They said, the best way to do this is for us to, retread this baby over here, which was Andy worked at the studio. We had most of it. We replaced this and did some other things. And Timothy Dalton kind of gets up to a certain point, and then it becomes Andre. And so we kind of lucked out that we had all those components because it's really hard to do. Like Dave keeps mentioning this gorilla suit we did in 4 days or 5 days. I mean, you can only do that when there's a good breeze, going your way. And that was one where there were so many other gags in Werewolf Concerto. We needed to kind of focus on that stuff. I don't even think we got Timothy until like 3 days before we shot some stuff.
The 2 questions, my guys. Out of all the episodes that you guys worked on, was there ever an episode that if you could remake it as a feature film and do the makeup effects for it again, what episode would you take and turn it into something bigger? And that's a question for both of you guys.
Wow,
And then
good
the
question.
second question was, out of all, my mind is, because I grew up with the show so much, my mind is just blown over the fact that you guys said that there's like lost makeup effects, gore, and creature footage from the show. And I'm like, wait, then what's another episode that has a lot of your guys' effects cut out that it still bugs you guys to this day, besides Forever Ambergris from season 5? Besides that one. Now I'm so intrigued. Like, wait, what other episodes is there lost footage of?
Wow, that's good questions, man. Well, the first one about which one I think could be remade, we were actually, again, talking through the movie, which I know we're not supposed to do, but Dave and I were just like going, regarding the Demon Knight scripts, like, God, this script actually works pretty well. Someone's going to remake
It's
this.
a
you know?
really good script.
So maybe Demon Knight.
This
needs-
is
I know that's not
one
an
movie that
episode.
I've worked on that I would not hate to see remade.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, if you're in love with a movie, you don't want to see somebody put their fresh footprints all over it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you just want to let it be.
It's
But
inevitable
this
it'll
one,
happen.
I wouldn't
though.
mind because as awesome a job as Ernest did, I think there's more opportunities for exploration. You
Fair.
know, with the characters and with a lot of things
Yeah.
that could make it even way scarier.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun haunted house
Yeah.
movie with a bunch of fun characters. So
It
you know,
totally is.
If they don't fuck it up, I would love to see
Yeah.
where this could go. Even though I feel your fatherly strain to see that one go away. It's like when the Queen Borg got remade. You know, it's like, wait a minute, you can't do that. The other question, do you want to take that one? You want to, what was the second one?
It
again?
was an episode of the show that a lot of your guys' effects got cut out, besides Forever Ambergris from season 5.
I mean, every episode has certain things that are chopped out. I'd have to think about that because actually, Werewolf Concerto had a couple things cut out. of it.
Really? Oh.
Well, you know, that's a whole other side story. But yeah, shit. Good questions though, man. That's impressive that you know all this. Sorry, are we killing you guys out there? Are
I
you
think
like?
it might be that time of night.
Oh, there we go. All right. I thought I was hearing some snoring.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys, for sticking around so long.
All right,
Sorry we're
folks.
so yappy.
Todd Masters, Dave Snyder. Now, please, folks, if you took any pictures or any video, please be sure to tag the Frida and Nostalgic Nebula. That's where you'll find me and find out about upcoming events just like this. Anywhere on the social media you guys want them to follow?
Yeah,
or-
I'm on Instagram and I'm on all the usuals. Pretty easy name, Todd Masters or Masters Todd or whatever the hell it is. So, and Dave's also apparently on Masters Todd too. No,
Yes,
yeah. But yeah, check us out. We have studios that are still doing stuff pretty active. So we do Yellow Jackets now. And, what else? What other things do we do? We do The Boys. Anybody watch The Boys? Yeah. So we got a couple things coming out pretty soon. So should be good.
All right, folks, happy anniversary.